Hi everyone, Len and Gary here. It's Monday, December the 20th, and Gary, we're on a quick downhill slide toward Christmas, and I wish we were here to talk about something Christmassy in nature, but we're not. We're here to give folks an update on the vandalism that occurred on the late evening of the 15th or early morning of the 16th. And Gary, I know there's been a lot of questions. We've had a lot of media inquiries. We've had a lot of folks who were wondering if we're still in operation and what was happening, so hopefully this video that we're going to do here will clarify a lot of that, and maybe at the end of it we'll give some folks some information as to how, if anybody has any information on this, they can pass it along to the authorities. Gary, do you want to give us, first of all, maybe we'll talk about the damage that was done. Could you give us a quick update on that, and also we'll try to show the folks behind us some of the areas that were affected.
Yeah, Len, the other morning when we came in and the dome was down, I guess the expressions on the face of Jamie and Peter when they came in and saw their livelihood laying there in a pile said a lot about how we felt about this whole thing. Yeah. The damage was extensive for an inflatable dome. There were something probably of 30 slashes. There were 3 holes that were big enough for a human to go through, cut through both layers of fabric, so that allowed the dome to come down despite the fact that the auxiliary inflation unit was working its best to keep it up.
Now tell me, under normal circumstances, just to get to the issue of the deflation of the unit, even with those significant tears and rips and holes in it, the dome would have never come down. Can you maybe give the folks an idea of what caused the dome to come down?
Well, then, under normal circumstances, when the dome calls for additional air, the auxiliary will kick in, and you have a combination of the regular inflation unit and the auxiliary. In this particular instance, they actually used either a stick or scaled the compound and got in and kicked the power off in the main inflation unit.
Yes.
Then the gas-powered unit kicked in, and it did maintain probably a quarter of the dome's integrity.
Yeah. So that caused the probably what, about 80% of our, I guess, came down.
Yeah, the ice surface was completely covered with the lights down right on the ice surface. Yeah. But between the boards and the dome wall itself, it was creating an air tunnel that was actually I could walk through it.
So once we found that out, I know the police were here around 8 o'clock or so. They're the ones that put the report in that the dome was down. How long was it before you and staff actually got the dome back up?
Well, I guess I got here probably 9 o'clock and talked to the officer for a short while and phoned Jamie and Peter, and they both came in and we had the dome up before noon.
Wow, that's amazing. I know. Was there much loss of time for the players?
We lost 3 hours of ice booking that probably we didn't even need to lose, but wanted to be safe and make sure that they had lots of time to notify the kids who were participants so that they didn't come in and not be able to use it. So when we knew we could use it, then we sent the word in.
You know what? I was here. You and I were off to another function that morning. Unfortunately, I know that you ended up having to be up here. But when I came up and saw the damage that was done to the dome, I've got to tell you, I thought we were out of operation for a long time. And I will say this: that you and Jamie and Peter did an incredible job getting that dome back up, and I think everybody knows that.
Then I guess I would be remiss if I said I didn't have the same feelings when I saw it, because when you see the thing laying there in a pile, it's pretty humbling.
You know, it's a labor of love for a lot of people in this community, and when you think 75,000 kids, and I shouldn't say just kids, because we have a very active seniors program here as well. We've gone through that facility, and we'll probably hit over 100,000 this year. It's a real heartache to see that happen. Gary, just to get on to the issue of repairs and the service, the dome, I take it, is in full operation again. What's going to happen now? As far as repairs go to the dome?
The dome, the outside structure has actually been totally repaired, and this morning they're inside putting insulation back in and completing the repairs on the inside. We have to bring a lift truck in so that we can go up and rehook some of these supports for the nettings, and there's a couple of pieces of dome insulation that needs to be repaired that actually dislocated when the dome came down. But other than that, we'll be back full tilt, and quite pleased with the work that the guys did when they came in and got the thing going. Yeah, the sad part of this whole thing is I know that it was reported in the press there was probably only $7,000 to $10,000 worth of damage. But the dome itself, the fabric is probably what, $300,000 to $400,000? Brand new, that dome would be about $375,000.
So, you know, when we're talking $7,000 to $10,000, the wonderful thing about that structure is very resilient. And Gary and I and Jamie and Peter, we've all undertaken repairs from time to time, because this is not the first act of vandalism on the dome. We've had 7 or 8 slices, minor ones at that though, on before. And it's very resilient, and the material has to be heated to 1,500 degrees or so to be repaired, and that's being done now. So Gary, outside of that, there was insurance, there will be insurance to, I take it, to cover the damage, because that's a question that's been asked a lot.
We're anticipating it will be covered by insurance. We haven't had contact with the insurance company getting back to us yet to cross that bridge.
Yeah, and I guess that'll be dealt with in the future. As far as the operation goes and the future, everything is fine. The dome, the structure is in great shape now. I take it, because I know I was over there this morning, and I know that they were undertaking the repairs now on the inside of the fabric. Yeah,
that's right. And Len, something else I want to point out is I had a call on Friday from Sean McKinsey, and Molson's breweries have actually shown some concern for what happened to us in our project, and they actually have a program whereby they contribute to different entities in relation to sports facilities.
Oh, wow.
And they've made us an offer to take a look at what money we might be able to access from them in the event that insurance doesn't cover it all. I think that Molson's probably will be willing to come on board and help us with that, or help us maybe with a new program of surveillance and so on, whereby we can completely cover the perimeter with cameras as opposed to the end that we thought was subject to vandalism.
Now, Gary, just on that point, there was a security camera in place. Is that being checked now for information?
Len, my understanding is that the HR Police and the RCMP are both investigating this. The RCMP brought in the major crime unit and looked at it to see if there might be something we were missing, that they as officers were missing, and that will be ongoing with them. We don't look at the videos ourselves. That's something that they monitor.
Now, just as a final note here, folks, for anybody out there that's community-minded and has any information on this, that wants to talk to the police in confidence without their name being released or used, would you please, and the phone numbers are going to be on the screen here in front of us, call the Halifax Regional Police Department with any information you have at 490-5016. That's 490-5016. Gary, maybe you could tell them about Crime Stoppers.
Crime Stoppers have actually the guys in Crime Stoppers are actually good friends of mine, and they've done great work throughout. And so if you want to send a message to Crime Stoppers, it's number 1-800-222-TIPS 8477. That's 1-800-222-8477 for Crime Stoppers.
And folks, anybody that does try to help us with this to prevent any further vandalism and at the Dome, it would be greatly appreciated. We'd be doing a great public service. Again, a lot of people use our facility. It's a small facility, but it's part of an integrated system of rinks here that we work with Halifax Regional Municipality on, and we want to make sure that it's here providing the best community service that we can.
And Len, that being said, I hope that the perpetrators are apprehended, that we get over this stupid adult diversion and lax judicial system, and that these people get punished to the extent of the law, and maybe it won't occur as often as it has been lately.
Well, I can tell you from a board perspective, and I'm a board member of the Rocky Lake Development Association, I'll be pushing for full criminal prosecution, because this is beyond an act of vandalism. It's a criminal act, what happened here. It was a very violent criminal act. When you look at the way the dome was ripped and torn, it wasn't just slashed. Somebody actually really went to town on several parts of it.
Yeah, that's right, Len, and there also was vandalism on adjacent properties, and so somebody's actually set out on a crime mission, and that mission being vandalism.
So again, folks, the numbers are here in front of us. If anybody has any information, we'd sure appreciate your help. And once again, from Gary Hines and myself, Len Goucher, we want to wish everybody just an absolutely wonderful Christmas and all the best in the new year. We look forward to serving our community of Bedford, Fall River, Waverley, and indeed all of HRM in the year 2011. Thanks, folks. You have a great holiday season.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.